Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, Greg, about why the Helix Super Grain is different than just plain chia.
Sure, absolutely. Be happy to. What we did was we found out about this miraculous grain called chia. So we set out to work on understanding it. And this is, before it was popular. This is really at the very beginning of the chia. Everyone's heard of chia to some degree. And this is really part of the reason why this whole chia craze got started. So many, many years ago, we went to Mexico. We found out that there was very little of it, but it was predominantly used in this little town called Acatí, Mexico. So we went down to Mexico, Acatí, and we met with the one they called the keeper of the seeds, because he had, hundreds of varieties of this chia. So we said, well, we need to understand the nutrition of it. So the scientists took it all back and started to analyze what was in it. And we were, incredibly surprised and elated by what we found. But the problem was that we found that some of the seeds had really good nutrition and some had really poor nutrition. So there was no, hey, every seed's the same. They were all different. So we really, evaluated every single one of them, crossbred some of them, through natural selection, just pollinating flowers, basically. And so we took ones that were, let's say, high in omega-3, but low in protein. And we, created a cultivar that is now the cultivar, or the standard of identity of the cultivar, of that cultivar. Because, in order to keep replicating the exact same nutritional profile, you have to cut from a plant like they do with avocados, or potatoes. Those, they actually, because every time you plant a seed, the growth of that plant is going to be different than its parents, just like us. I mean, we're different than our parents. That's true in plants as well. So you can't really take cuttings of this plant and make them grow. It doesn't work that way. So we said, all right, well, we're going to use that benchmark of nutrition that we developed, and going forward, that is going to be our standard of identity. So when we grow our product, if it doesn't meet that standard, we reject it. And we only use that which meets our benchmark or our standard of identity. That said, there are other chias, and lots of them on the market. Most of them are whole seeds. So when you go to the store and you see a bag of chia, and early on, by the way, I was involved in commodity chia sales. So we had this, and I said, well, I'm going to sell this as a commodity because it was just starting to really take off. And so I would talk with Garden of Eden and a number of, that's just one brand that I'm sure you heard of, but we had Spectrum. There were several brands that we were working with, and the only thing they were interested in was the price. They didn't care about the nutrition. Did it look like a chia? Yeah, it does. Okay, that's all I want. Just send me a container of that. Containers, 40,000 pounds. Send me 40,000 pounds because I'm going to put it in my bag. All right, well, that's great. That's all well and good. But as a consumer, you go to the store and you buy a bag of chia, you don't know what you're getting. The time you get it the first time, it might be really high quality nutrition. The next time it may not. But the problem is you just don't know, because there's no standard of identity except for the Helix grain, and we use our benchmark for that standard of identity so that you have confidence that what you're getting is the nutrition that you're expecting. And that's really important. So that's how, we came upon it. We were actually tipped off by an old scientist who was getting ready to retire, but someone who was, discovered this, and he called us to you know, to bring this to the world, really. So that's what we're doing, and we're so happy that you know, we were able to make that. I was able to make the connection with Kirk, and now that we are part of Helix Iconic is, you know, just a dream for us.